You know how we said we had to make like 50 grand in a week, which was actually pretty much true. I guess it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks that we really had. But yeah, that number was accurate. And I think, Belk, you did the final tally, but it was sub 5 grand that we made it by that month.
Oh, we made it by $15. So we had $71,000 in payroll. Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, my intro where we talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, challenging norms 2 days in a row, Pop, on YouTube. Well, not on YouTube.
That's phenomenal.
Did you?
We're on a streak. When was the last time we shot 2 days in a row? I think we sold the company for $50 million last time that happened.
Oh.
Hey, we got an update.
Yeah, what kind of lag switch am I on? Am I coming through it all right?
You sound good enough to me.
That's pretty good. You have an update? Or we got an update on the new format?
Our format is an update.
Woo!
That's how it goes. Apparently, what's funny is we have this schedule now where it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're shooting a particular episode. I just randomly threw the days in, and then I asked Belky, "What's tomorrow?" He's like, "You made the calendar." I'm like, "Did I?" I didn't even mean to, I guess, but I'm like, whatever I threw in is it.
I just took your topics. I took your content buckets right from the spreadsheet. You're like, spreadsheet? Yeah, you see, Pop, I read this book. It's called The Compound Effect. I actually just finished it. Apparently, routines and habits and schedules and good things compound, and then momentum kicks in. And so I'm probably an annoying schedule guy now, but I'm just trying to find some momentum. I'm lost.
I don't like that it sounds like you're trying to play long-term games, because you know we don't play those sort of games at Clip Fucks. That's just not it. That's not what we do.
You got
actually, I should buy the I should buy that domain. That probably exists. Yeah, I'll buy that
for
domain.
A child.
Clip
Oh,
Fucks.
Clipped Fucks? Before a listener does.
All
right, we are now the owners of clippedfucks.co before anybody else can be. So
no,
tune in on YouTube.
.com, dude.
Get .com.
Am I allowed to swear in a URL? I think that's kind of like freedom of speech.
Question.
You can just let rip.
Here, I'll search it really quick because it's probably a porn site. Clipped Fucks, right? Or,
it might turn into that.
Fucks. Clippedfucks.com. Site can't be reached. I'll remove the P really quick. Sorry, Pam, who's editing BRoll. We won't add this. And
I can't even see anything anyway.
We're loading. Not gonna get there. I don't think it's anything. That's good. Hey, Fridays, Pop. Fridays, we do business updates. The one day we talk about ourselves. The one day. And then maybe someone can learn something from it, from our mistakes.
It's available. You just got to go instant domain search, and that shit rips it right away. Yeah. Hey, so we got a lot of updates. I don't remember the last time we talked about the business, but it was in dire straits, I'm pretty sure. We questioned everything. I've been talking this morning to my friend who I was supposed to live with in New York, and I had to tell him the sad story that, hey, we're going to have to push this back a little bit because the business, we get a lot of existential crisis with the business, with my girlfriend, with a lot of things that I needed to figure out. We figured most of those out, so we think. But the problem is the beautiful, what do we use? Stripe account, which looks clean binky right now, and we'll get into the numbers in a second, but it looks clean. The problem is everything else is dry. It is like
life.
No, just like accounts.
What else is dry? Oh yeah.
Well, it was last month. You know how we said we had to make like 50 grand in a week, which was actually pretty much true. I guess it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks that we really had, but yeah, that number was accurate, and I think, Belk, you did the final tally, but it was sub 5 grand that we made it by that month.
Oh, we made it by $15. So we had $71,000 in payroll on like April 15th, and the day before we had $71,000 and $18 or something.
Right. So you get.
I kid you not.
I look in the bank account, it's like literally $15, and then it's also tax day, and I had to send like another 20 grand. So I'm like, well, there goes everything to my name. But now we rebuild. And the beauty of this is that it kind of built itself. You just shot some DMs, you went in crank mode, and it's
I compound affected. He's like, in the book, he's like, the biggest mistake you can make is not being consistent, because you're throwing momentum out the window. You're throwing any compounding effects you have out the window. I'm like, let me just show up every single day for a month, put in the reps, hit 5 people in the pipeline, sign people on, get them done, do it fast. Shit compounds. We did it.
We've
never been more stable.
An interesting level of tea right now. It's like kind of excited, kind of not. I don't know what it is.
Well, I'm a little sleepy because I'm also reading. Look what happens. I'm also reading. I just finished Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, and now I don't hit snooze 4 times in the morning. So today I got up at like 6:30, and now I'm in kind of a Lucid Tea phase, but I think it's good. You just count down
Lucid
5,
Tea.
4,
That's a
3,
great
2,
brand of tea.
1, and you go. Lucid Tea.
I really like. I mean, Lucid is just a dope name.
Hey, let me hit you with the funny. Let me hit you with the funny, and then by the end of this episode, we can talk MRR, we can talk us, we can talk the business,
monthly
anything
recurring
you want.
revenue.
Let me hit you with the funny. This woman reached out on the platform because she loves her clipped editor, and she's getting a lot of praise on her videos on YouTube. She has a personal editor. This is kind of like when we were testing the marketplace. She asked if she could get referral codes. Now, I ran that by you, Pop, and you came up with the, let's just, if she gives us any word of mouth referral, let's just give her the entire first month's profit for that subscription. It's like $2,500. She came back to me as a referral, I guess. She came back to me. She's like, yeah, but I'd like to offer my viewers some percentage off clipped. I was like, you got to give the viewers an incentive to sign up through your referral, Pop.
It's a two-way street.
I was like, that's some really important math you're doing. So, right, her viewers need 20% off clipped, and then we can give her some commission. But we had no incentive for the viewer, which was kind of funny. I gave her a coupon code for 20% off. It's Liz if anyone wants to use it. LIZ. And I said she can have like $500 or $1,000.
Our whole like modeling, it just went out the window when it's like, hey, if anyone wants it, 20% off. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, I'm doing word of mouth for her, huh?
Yeah, I don't really like. I think we gotta shut that down. We should have just like a smart nonsense all-time discount, and it's like a hey, if anyone listens to the pod, they'll know the discount, but we don't really publicly advertise it. It's like
we should.
That'd actually be cool. Hey, use smart nonsense. That'll be what is 20% off
for what?
You for $4,000 1/5 of that's $800 off, I guess.
Give it
public math.
See, the problem is on Fridays we tend to do these things, and we're just like, fuck it. That's
yeah, fuck it. So Fridays are dangerous, dude.
Smart nonsense on clip.co for 20% off. I'll go add that. Huh. All right.
Well, hold on. Don't add that yet. I don't know if we...
No, I just got to add the reminder.
No, but I don't know.
Moving on, Pop. Moving on.
This is one of those like accidental viral marketing things where it's like, wait, we didn't okay this discount code, and it goes out and everyone starts using it. I don't know if we'll have to figure that out after, I guess. But
oh yeah, that's a great point. Hey, onward and upward.
It'd be nice to kind of game plan losing $1,000 on every single order for the rest of the time before we announce it. But hey, it's out there for at least a week. But okay, so yeah, maybe we'll just keep it up, and then the first like 2 days of when this podcast drops, and then we'll drop it from there. That's good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, so I guess we got to figure out how to bake it in on both sides. I also don't like how 20% off doesn't sound like much. It sounds like you go to Target and you try to buy something and it's 20% off, versus like 20% is literally almost $1,000. It's like, $1,000 off every single month. That to me sounds like a lot more money.
You could do fixed amount.
I know, it sounds $1,000 off per month.
Good things happen when we talk. Good things happen when we talk.
Hey, so what's the global game plan? Hey, global local. Want to talk about that?
I got global local. Global local. Hit it.
I'm concerned about this podcast right now. Okay. Because a lot of the times when we shoot these business updates, it's because we have so much inspiration, we have to talk about the business. This feels like a forced shareholder letter. It's like,
yeah,
I don't really care about updating people. I guess it's kind of good, but it's like,
I think it's
normally
for you
it's
and
like,
I.
Is that what this is?
When have we sat down and talked about local and global?
I guess we haven't. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a one-time thing. But my energy
you know what it might
isn't
be?
Very stoked.
What it might be is the difference in like when we did these for us as a phone call versus when we come on here. This happens with my vlog too, with like the idea that we need to talk to the viewer and teach them something. That to me seems infinitely harder.
Right.
Like us talking about local and global versus explaining from like first principles what the hell we mean. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I guess let me give the update, because if there's something I'm excited about, it's like what our actual trajectory as a company is. Because before we had these playground walk sessions where I'm just storming about with a bunch of 4-year-olds playing on swings and shit, trying to talk about what our company is, as Belky's cooped up in his van and he's trying to sell. We don't know if we want the best video editors in the world or if we just need good enough for this Ollie platform. We were lost. But now, as I text my buddy from before, I'm like, hey, we figured out the business. And he's like, hey, how do I know in 6 months you're going to be like, oh, we're broke again? Like, what do we do? He's like, okay, I think we figured out, and here's why. Basically, Belky working, I don't know, a part-time job for the last month, like 3-4 hours a day, maybe more, but recently it hasn't sounded that much. I've been totally AWOL, flying around the world. We've sold 50,000 in MRR or 40,000 in MRR in the last month, like additional.
Correct.
So for numbers wise, we went from something like 70, 75-ish to now, I think almost 120, 115
monthly
or so.
Recurring.
Right. So let's just round numbers, call it 120 in monthly recurring revenue and then 80K in expenses, roughly there.
That's actually nuts. Since March 14th.
Right. And for context, right now it's April 22nd, and on March 14th, I guess when we first had the panic attack. No, well, we probably had the panic attack about a month ago.
Yeah.
And when we had it, I think we literally had like 50K in what was expected cash flow. I think our MRR on Stripe was technically like $75,000 or something like that, and we had like $75,000 in expenses. So we've taken that up, I guess, $45,000 in a month. It's like, okay, that's literally $500,000 a year.
We were even more scared because Stripe's MRR function works on a lag, and it bakes in like cash flow we got for 3-month subscriptions and 6-month subscriptions. It like rolls that into MRR, but we've long ago spent that money right when we got it, you know?
Right. So we're
like
a concrete example.
This 70,000 MRR really in April is going to be like 50, 55.
Right.
That's not good.
Because someone literally, like, they paid us, say a month ago, they paid us $50,000. That bakes into the MRR for like 3 months. That bakes into the MRR for like 15, 16K a month. But we already saw that money up front, and we've spent it already. So it's like that MRR is just fugazi.
It's nice if you are like, if you're thinking long term, it's great for forecasting. Sure, that's our MRR on paper. When we're like, how do we do payroll in 2 weeks?
It's like
short-term games.
Money is not coming in 2 weeks. Luckily, shit's gonna hit us. We have some 3 months coming up, so now we're like officially in the clear in terms of like the cash flow issues of the MRR. Like that
for at least 3 months.
Cash flow isn't an issue for now. And I think I'm pretty confident. Like, are you saying, is this going to happen again in 6 months? It's like, no, because now we have 20 plus customers and a nice buffer on all of this. Like, worst case scenario, we might lose a few customers, but we also sold like 10 or 12, I don't know, an absurd amount in a month. And that was literally me being AWOL and you working part-time effectively. And also
Right.
he's kind of shit on me. He's like, wow, you guys collectively work 4 hours a day, huh? And it's like, no, I want to work a lot more. And now I'm back. Now I'm in the office, so it's going to be a fucking rocket ship.
It compounds too, where like, okay, sure, I put in the reps, we increase revenue by this much. Then yesterday we get 4 referrals, word of mouth. You know, another one you just sent Harry today. So it's like, it reminds me of the early days of Smart Nonsense Media when doing one thing for MFM leads to, okay, 3 other podcasts seeing that. And we work with those 4. And then 12 other people see that. And now we have 8 clients. And now it's like, I actually see a path where, so my goal for this 2 seasons or like 2 months of the vlog, and we should talk about product here, is going from $1 million a year in revenue, which is where we're at today, to 10 million. And now I see with this like snowballing compound word of mouth just keeps showing up every day. If we build the systems, we could actually 10x this pretty quickly.
Well, that's where I want to kind of get into like the 3 next steps I see in like within 6 to 12 months for where we grow. But this, I sent you the podcast yesterday. I watched it. It was what's the Seth? Fucking Seth. The Sahil Bloom, and like I forget what the podcast is called. But I sent it.
Not investment advice. It's
the
right.
Other one.
No,
that's Trung Fam. But whatever. This guy created Swag Up hats. I'm not used to wearing hats, so I'm like constantly adjusting it. Swag Up. It's like my. I also play with my ring.
I didn't click it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, well, it's good. Basically, this guy who's like our age, Matt Martucci or something like that, or I don't know if his first name's Matt, but he bootstrapped his company Swag Up from 0 to 8 figures, so meaning $10 million a year plus in, I guess, revenue. And all the company is like right now, I know you don't want to talk about it a lot, but Athena, Henry's girlfriend, just got a job offer, an awesome job offer. And it's one, making us question our own decisions in life. But 2, it's like she joins this company.
Great base salary, equity, fast-growing Series B company with like, and we're
awesome
out here
perks.
Struggling.
And so one of the perks that she might even get, I honestly, I don't know if we can say the company, but whatever, the company, which is one of the softwares we use, they can offer this to anyone that joins the company. It's like, here's your swag pack. And so you just get it, and it's maybe like, I don't know, a couple $100 in just branded merch for whatever you say. It's clipped merch. You just get mailed to you. Like, we might want to do it even with our own clients. It's like, oh, that's his company, and he bootstrapped it to this absurd amount of money. And how he did it is, well, in part because it has this viral marketing where you see this awesome merch, and I'd also read Purple Cow, and it's like you want to stand out, where you want the absolute, like, holy fuck, what is that? Why is that guy wearing a clipped fucks hat on a podcast? Like, that makes no sense. Like, stuff like that. I even think this should be purple or some crazy color that stands out. His version of that is, 1, having awesome merch, and then 2, having the Swag Up on the box that you actually get. Like, on the bottom of the box, you see it. So it markets itself when people buy the product. And that's how you know it's just going to be amazing. And that's where it comes in, where this woman is like, hey, my videos are getting noticed by my fans, and they're asking who edits it, because they saw the step up gain. It went from like shitty to now awesome. What did you do? And that's what we saw with MNFM. That's what we saw with Naval. Pretty much all our customers have some form of this viral marketing baked in.
Sure. The reason the swag works too is reciprocity, right? If you give someone, like, our accountants give us a bar of chocolate, and we're like, oh, we should probably renew for another $2,500 a month because of that bar of chocolate, right? If you can, that's like the sneakier what's going on underneath the hood. If you can give someone something first, they're gonna be much more likely to reciprocate.
Reciprocity. I didn't know what the word was, so I didn't even correct you. But god damn, this tea level is really weird. But okay, so what is like the short to medium term plan? I think this is it. So right now we're at like 120, and the interesting thing about business, and I think we talked about this before, was our fixed cost problem. Where now that we've decided to, instead of being a platform necessarily, we're more so a company where everyone's in here and pretty much we know these are our rates, like how much we're going to pay contractors every month, fixed cost basically. So we have 80K in fixed costs every month, but we also have 10 or so editors that aren't working with clients. So if you look at that, one of those editors is $4,000 on the platform. So if they were to have clients, that's an extra $40,000 in revenue, but all that revenue is profit because they're a fixed cost as a sort of like, I don't know, I hesitate to use the word employee, but like
yeah, we like already paid a salary essentially.
Like they're going to be paid because we want them to work on either our stuff or client stuff, but our stuff doesn't yet make money. So our goal is to sell pretty much all our team out, just like have them all working with clients as a normal business would. And we'll still have like Naval sort of marketing, a little bit of smart nonsense. But the beauty of this is, one, we're going to get up to, I don't know, 150 or so, at least in terms of like revenue, and we'll still have the 80K in costs. So now we should be like, okay, we can pay ourselves consistently, have that buffer in the company so that, you know, anything ever happens in the future, we have several months of like no stress, or at least 1 month, because we can really sell really fast. But we have more margin. And then kind of step two.
From 150 MRR, yeah, where do you go?
Well, okay, so this is the question of like on your
I hope
thing
this
you
happens
want
in
to.
the next. I hope this happens in the next week. By the way,
That'd be sick. Fucking 10 people in a week, and I have some ideas how
9.
we get there. 9, yeah, we're down to 9, and who knows? So like this new lead that came in this morning just from seeing our Naval edits. So number 2, well, first sell that out. You want to go the route of like get to 10 million. I prefer, before we kind of try and grow to that 10 million, to focus our energy on our brand. So 100%. One is sell out, 2 is like our brand. I guess it's like business brand, the 2 B's I see. So first is business, second is brand, like just getting a stable business, that's number 1. And then brand, kind of the beauty of this new idea that I think we had in the past, but now it's like we can re-implement it. We're thinking about doing a wait list where we basically just like anyone wants to come in. Well, we don't want to grow too fast and get into the same problem as before where we like overhire. But now that's not the best customer experience to be like, oh, I want to sign up now, but I have to wait maybe a month until they hire and train someone new. Instead, we want to have this bootcamp buffer of you come into Clipped, like right now we have 9 people, but assuming we sell them out, we get a new kind of trainees to come in. They come train with us for like a month or so, just working on smart nonsense edits, which is building the brand and not costing us all that much. So it never puts us in danger because it's always like 5 or so people or up to 10, whatever we want to do. But it never goes beyond that. And then anyone can come in and we just like, oh, hey, you now have a client. Like, thanks for training with smart nonsense. And now we replace them and get a new trainee. That way we're kind of like growing stably without ever risking anything more than like 10K a month.
Right.
And then
it'd be cool too. I was telling you the other day, yeah, you don't want an application that takes like a week to get an editor, but we want some little friction, maybe some questionnaire, something to get into Clipped. Because what we found is like the people who come in with the right philosophy, the same shared philosophy, they like make 80% good videos, treat your creative nice, people don't want to burn out. Those rip for a year, 2 years, 5 years.
Right.
And the people that come in and want to like get rich quick, get big quick, grow their brand quick, they see it's hard after 1 month and then fizzle out. So we want to like sort for who's going to be best to our team.
Well, one example, I don't think we'd talk about this person, but this is, well, fuck it. It's Our Future on YouTube. They're a big popular brand. It's made by this kid in college. they're crushing it, and we can see like their edits are perfectly in line with what we want to do. And I think Sampar of My First Million actually recommended us. He does stuff very similar to like what Alex Lieberman wants to do with Morning Brew, and it's like, okay, this is our wheelhouse, like making these 60-second clips that are highly animated. But he came in and he's like, I wasn't really in it, Belky. This was kind of your thing, but basically he was like, oh, I love it. We gave him a couple samples. He's like, this is the shit. Can they do 3 of these a day? We're like, no, but they can do 3 a week because that's what a normal person can do. And he's like, that's not a full-time job. I know they can do more. And it's like, well, go find some other editors because that would burn our people out. And he's essentially disappeared. It's like, it's perfect content fit, but not the perfect relationship fit. Yeah, I don't know what the term is, but hey, that shit's cute. So it's just like, hey, dude, too bad. It's not going to work.
Yeah, if it's not going to work for one day, how is it going to work for 3 years? What Naval says, if you can't see yourself working with someone for one day, what? Don't work with them ever?
Yeah, like.
Or if you can't see yourself working with someone for 10 years, sorry, don't work with them for a day.
Yeah, that's even better. Look at you. So basically, again, I kind of want to focus on selling out the business, then working on our brands, and like kind of baked into both of those
systems.
It's our ideologies. And then once we have like our little boot camp, which is like our training ground, we want to systematize that because I think it is helpful not only for ourselves, but also for clients and also for pretty much the whole world. Like people that already have an editor and they want to like teach them how to make awesome clips. It's like, oh, you could just buy this clipped bootcamp for $500 and it goes through exactly our process for viral content. And guess what? We've tested it on our own channel, Smart Nonsense. It's like
sell the byproducts.
Sell the byproducts,
right? So we make this internal cohort-based boot camp to train our editors. The byproduct of having that is this nice course we made. Sell it for $500.
And also
educate
the amount
people, they'll come to Clipped.
It's kind of crazy within Naval, even for like Smart Nonsense Instagram. We get so many DMs from Naval folks being like, hey, how did you make them? Like the majority of my responses are like, hey, I want to do videos like this. How do I make them? And I'm like, just go to lynda.com, like buy a course, I don't know, one of these platforms, and then download After Effects. But it's like everyone's asking, they're like, can you teach me how to make these? It's like, I don't know how much people would actually buy that for, but that could be baked in the course. It's like, here's what we do, here's the viral strategy, and here's actually how to do it. Like if you wanted to give this to your editors, like you can't hire a clipped editor just because it like costs too much for you already have someone in there. But you can just give this course to your editor. Write it off as a business expense. $500 and now for the rest of time you can make it.
You know it's the highest form of leverage. It costs us nothing for that to just be a link.
Right.
A purchase link.
And it's such a no-brainer as in like, hey, we've spent over a year building our entire business. It's called Clipped, around how to build amazing animated clips and videos. It's like you want to do, say, a product video for your company. Like we know how to do that. Like we know literally everything about it
too. It's evergreen.
Right. And we could have updates too. Like say it's like some new Colin and Samir style. We're like, oh, try this. It's like, I don't know, once a month we add it. And you could even make it a recurring course, right? So it's $500 and you get all the videos we've made up to date. But if you want like the 5 or 10 videos that we add every month so you can stay on top of the trends, it's like, oh, that's an extra $100 a month just to like say subscribe, or it's like whatever shit we want to do. Or it's just a subscription from day one. It's like, I don't know, but like seeing from the Todd V Dating YouTube world of how he had 100,000 subscribers and like several $1 million in revenue and profit, literally, because he just built courses that have no marginal cost and sell them to everybody. It's like, oh, I really like that model. That might be a better way to get to 10 million.
You're like, Todd, literally just do more. Just get this stuff out on time. The margins are so good.
I know. And so that company was basically like working with Todd, probably the poorest run company you could ever have. It was terrible, but because they just nailed one product, it was this one course that sold $1 to $2 million It probably like right now it sells $30,000 a month, and he made that course 5 years ago. It's like
Infinite
for the last 5 years, $30,000 a
leverage.
month.
Code and media.
So
Hey, do you have a phase 3? Because otherwise, I think this fits nicely into local global.
No. So selling out, then boot camp, then courses. Those are my 3 phases
Oh yeah.
for 6 months.
And I think this is where we're trying to figure out what you and I actually do, and we come up with this idea of the local and the global, right? So I may be in there in the trenches doing things that are seemingly shallower, answering emails, getting people onboarded, to the point where like I see all these problems all day. I note most of them. I don't have the time or energy then to step back and like do anything about them. So it's a matter of handing them off to global to be like, global, you're global.
I really like how
example?
global. Well, this morning I sent you a message. I just like exclamation point reacted to it, but it was like I don't know what I said. Like, oh, we should go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, basically Yuri was asking like, hey, do you have any examples of product videos or any examples of video sales letters? I'm like, different categories of video styles or explainers, and I'm like, oh, Belky, what if we just had everyone on the team, like anytime they have a dope edit, they just throw it into like a Notion doc or something, and it updates with the category, and we just put that on the website as is on the page. And Belky's like, that sounds like a great idea for global, which means like you fucking do it, and it's like, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm
That's
like,
a great
I don't
idea
have
for global.
2 hours today to make a portfolio. I think it's a great idea. There was one yesterday too. You're like, you're going through all these clips that I had reviewed. And Mr. Local I ripped through them and just put comments on each editor's clip in frame. And you're like, Belky, I don't want to waste my time doing these local tasks. Like, can we just sit down and record like a 1 hour video review? And I'm like, that's a great global project.
Well, I was just like, I was going through and I'm like, I'm fine to comment on it. And like, if I wasn't so fucking lazy with my time, I'd do it. I'd just be like, all right, I'm just gonna spend an hour going through. But I'm like, my comments for a D, like, other people aren't gonna see that. It's just like he sees it and then he learns from it, but that has no like external. What do you call those in extrinsic? No.
Extrinsic value.
Externalities.
Externalities. No positive externalities.
None of them. And I'm like, I want this shit to spread, because kind of what we're modeling here is we're building the bootcamp internally. So like we're testing our own, teaching our team. So it's like, oh, this will become the course that we one day sell for $500 or whatever it is in the future. It could be $1,000. I don't know. Right. But it's like, let's kind of start testing the best ways to teach what we see and then go from there. And that's actually what I loved with sort of the dating channel, is like breaking down beginner videos. So it's kind of cool, like within our 1 day course, it'd be like, oh, give us your edits. We're going to like break them down. And then you can see like what a bad edit looks like, what a decent like intermediate edit looks like, and what an expert edit looks like. We're going to break down each of them. It's like, that shit sounds fun. I actually like doing that. Like that would be kind of an enriching process. So that's where I want to model it and just do it in a more scalable way, starting internally and then beyond that. I had a couple.
That's all I got, Pop.
No, that's not all I got though. Get out of here with that. Okay, so I wanted to get into like, what is our actual niche? I like how these were supposed to be 20 minutes, but fucking, we'll see how long we can keep up this.
You're gonna have to go through the BRoll.
I know. I still haven't done yesterday's, or I've done part of yesterday's, but I had to go to dinner. I had to go to dinner with my aunt. Driving there, there was this road. Okay, I wish I had like B-roll so you could see it, but the road, it splits into 2 lanes. It goes from 1 lane to 2 lanes. It's hard to explain, but basically there was this like, you see the split and you start anticipating the split and like merging into wherever, like say the 2 lanes are like this, you start merging into the lane that you want to go in. Basically, she merged too early into a lane, and there was just a giant fucking curb there. And we just smoked the curb at like 50 miles an hour. It was actually absurd. It was like the scariest. I've never been in a car crash, but it was like, oh my God, we're going to die. And it was just like a fucking,
Did you end up on the grass?
8-inch curb. No. We literally just I don't know how to explain it because
He flew over
we
the
literally
fork
just
into the other.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck you call it. It was just an island in the middle of the road, and we just fucking smoked it. And you just, my aunt's, we're talking about culture in Ecuador, and she's like, yeah, well, that's an interesting thing about culture. And I was like, whoa! What the fuck was that? And we're just riding on this island, and I'm like, oh, that is not the road. And then people like
Did you
came
grab
down.
the wheel?
I thought of it like we literally hit it so fast it all happened. It was fucking crazy, because this is like on a pretty major road, and people like came down from their houses because they thought there were gunshots in the street, and they're like, what the fuck happened? And it's just us like riding, and it blew out both the tires on that side of the road or that side of the car, and
You blew out
so
both
I just
the tires?
both of them fucking exploded. We hit this thing at like 50 miles an hour, dude, and literally rode up on this curb at 50 miles an hour.
Pre-dinner?
It was nuts. Pre-dinner. And just,
Pre-dinner, 2 blown tires?
well, the crazy thing is this. She picked me up. It's not even the crazy thing, but she picked me up, and I'm like, oh, we're running late. So I call, and I'm like, oh, we're going to be late to this restaurant. Then I have to call them again 15 minutes later. I'm like, hey, we just fucking smoked this curb at 50 miles an hour, so I don't think we're going to make our reservation again. They're like, sounds like you're not gonna eat because it's like 8 p.m. already and the kitchen closed at 9. I'm like, yeah, so much for that. So we just hung out for an hour,
Waiting for
kind of
AAA?
just talking, just waiting for AAA.
It's kind of like right now. Give me your last point.
Was there a reason I talked about that? Okay, I don't know
I'm
how
not
the
mad
fuck
you did.
Hey, that's our relationship. So what I want this to be, kind of with Mercury, our bank, what their tagline is, I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but it's like basically banking for startups. That's their sell. I'm like, oh, we're just video editing for startups. It's like, hey, you're a startup. You want something where you're probably going to scale, and you want to have this flexibility of you just pay month to month because you're used to subscriptions. You come in, you want awesome videos, and you want to like grow your brand, launch your products, etc. You just come in and API into us. It's like, okay, you just need one editor now. They're amazing right out of the gate. You just pay like less than you'd pay an amazing American editor, and you don't have to find them. And then if you need another one 2 months from now because you've grown and doubled in size, here they are. It's like, I think that's our pitch versus right now it's like hire I don't know, an expert video editor in 2 minutes. Like, I don't think that's our main tagline. I think it's video editors for startups, and it's like hire the best in the world in whatever 2 minutes or something if we want to have that time. But I don't think our main selling point is the time. I think it's who we're marketing towards, and that's the purple cow mentality. Is like pick your extreme and just double down on that because you want them to love you more than anyone else. And I think looking at our customers, almost all of them are in the world of startups. Whether it's like Ali Abdaal technically has a startup. I mean, take like Buzzsprout. They're kind of like a little bit beyond the startup. Well, definitely beyond the startup, but like they behave like a startup. Pretty much everyone.
It's like they've got the money, they've got the
it.
marketing ideas, the things they want to launch and do. They don't have the editing execution power because they'd have to hire a small team.
Right. And you don't want to pay, if you're a startup, you don't necessarily want to pay like $15,000 a month for like a marketing agency. Let's just get an editor. So I think we just double down on that niche. And then a couple things I want to test, and then we'll dip. One is like, how do we sell out? Well, one, we can just kind of, we're already our trajectory is we're probably going to sell out within a month or two. We're projecting our trajectory.
Actually, a week or two.
Really?
I'm serious. Yeah. I have
shit.
I have a bunch of people on the line. Yeah.
Hey, maybe we might hit $10 million.
I don't think we have to change
2 months.
anything to sell.
Well,
to sell
okay.
out in the
This
next
is an
week or two.
addition then. If we want to try a new area, which we didn't consider before, and I think our margins are good enough where we can figure out some incentive to make sense, but it's due the Alex Hormozy build a sales team for B2B. So this is where we're like, oh, we want to go into startups and grow with them. It's like, oh, that's beautiful. So say you're a company and you have like, I don't know, 50 employees or 100 employees. You want to do awesome videos. You can just buy a little package of like 5 editors. Oh, I don't like when you freeze. You buy a package of 5 editors, you're spending $20,000, and whatever, we can incentivize the shit out of the salesperson to like they could make like 5 or 10 grand, or yeah, I don't know what they could make. They could make 15 grand off a deal like that. Right at 40 minutes. That's where Belky's connection goes out. Well, nothing else is important. We're gonna try and sell out, be a sustainable business, and Belky's coming back.
I'm here. Am I here?
Okay, missed it all.
Pop,
I think we're just at Gardaloo right now. That's all we need.
Because these aren't 20 minutes, you literally use up all the Wi-Fi on my hotspot package. I have like 10 gigs a day or whatever. And yesterday it hit, and today it hit. I heard you say like sell the B2B package. Sell the B2B package.
Incentivize the fuck out of the salesperson because we make a lot of profit, and it's recurring. So there's a lot of room for that. Assuming they're going to be with us for a while. The clients. Okay, that's all I got.
So is that how I get a Gordaloo? I just run out of Wi-Fi?
That's the best way to do it, is either fake it or at 40. That's our force function, is 40 minutes. That's when you run out of Wi-Fi. All right, that's all we got.
That's a lot of B-roll. All right, see you next time.
Gardaloo!
On the Smart Nonsense Gardaloo.